They still call it the City of Lights, but if you stand on the strip long enough, you'll see something different. The lights still burn, but the faces have disappeared. Elevators stand broken, escalators hum in silence, and the same boulevard that once roared with laughter now echoes with empty footsteps and fading music. Yet nobody wants to talk about the real reason behind this emptiness. It's not crime, not heat, not the pandemic's ghost. It's greed. Cold corporate greed, repackaged as fees, premiums, and upgrades. A decade ago, you could land in Vegas with $300 and live like a king for a weekend. Today, that same amount barely pays for one night in a mid-tier hotel, one buffet, and a couple of drinks that taste more like regret than indulgence. Tourism boards will tell you everything is fine, but the truth is simple. Las Vegas has priced out the very people who built it. The Strip was never meant for billionaires. It was built for dreamers, gamblers, and families chasing one weekend of escape. But that dream has been replaced by an invoice. Step inside almost any casino today and you'll feel it instantly. The warmth is gone. The blackjack tables stand half empty. The dealers replaced by touchscreens that flash but never smile. Cocktail servers who once called you darling now deliver $20 watered-down margaritas with a mandatory service recovery charge. Parking that used to be free now costs more than your dinner, and every moment of pleasure feels like a transaction. The corporations that own Vegas, the same few conglomerates controlling everything from the hotel pillows to the slot machines, have turned Sin City into an economic maze of invisible toll gates. Every step you take is taxed, every laugh monetized, every ounce of joy converted into shareholder value. People aren't just leaving because it's expensive. They're leaving because Vegas stopped feeling human. There was a time when this city understood its secret, that generosity was its most profitable illusion. The free drink, the cheap buffet, the smiling croupier, they made you feel like you belonged. Now, every gesture has a price tag, and every welcome comes with fine print. In 2025, Las Vegas reported its steepest mid-tier occupancy drop in over a decade. Yet the billboards still promise luxury, excitement, escape, as if perception can fix what greed has broken. Beneath the neon glow, the numbers bleed quietly. Revenues down, layoffs rising, balance sheets masking desperation. Vegas isn't dying in a crash, it's bleeding out one hidden charge at a time. Because when a city forgets that its magic depends on trust, the lights can stay on, but the soul goes dark.
There was a time when a trip to Vegas felt like freedom. You'd throw your bags into a cab, step into a lobby glowing with gold and sound, and for one weekend, the rules of the real world disappeared. The casinos understood psychology better than Wall Street. Give people the illusion of control, and they'll hand over everything they have. But now, even the illusion costs extra. The trick isn't at the blackjack table anymore, it's at the checkout counter. What used to be a $99 room suddenly becomes $179 after resort fees, convenience charges, and sustainability surcharges. The game isn't about luck, it's about how many ways a company can charge you before you realize you've already lost. Take the average visitor arriving from Los Angeles for a long weekend. They see a room advertised for $120 a night. But the fine print hides another $45 in resort fees and 14% in city taxes. Add $30 a day for parking, $20 cocktails, $80 buffets, and before they've even sat down at a slot machine, they're $500 deep. These aren't upgrades or perks, they're psychological traps. You think you're making small choices, but every decision is engineered to drain you slowly, invisibly. Economists call it drip pricing. In Vegas, it's become a way of life. Even pulling your own cash from an ATM can cost $10. Buying a sandwich at a cafe comes with a 5% concession recovery fee. Ordering room service? Expect a $15 delivery charge plus a service fee for the privilege of waiting an hour for cold food. It's not the cost of luxury that kills the joy, it's the feeling that every smile hides a meter. And while these microcharges sound trivial, they've changed the city's entire rhythm. People no longer linger on the casino floors, they calculate. The spontaneous fun that once defined Vegas has been replaced by quiet math. Tourists now spend less time gambling, eat off the Strip, and cut their trips short. UNLV's 2025 tourism report confirms it. Total visitor spending dropped despite steady room rates. The city hasn't just lost money, it's lost trust. Because every hidden fee is a broken promise. And when you break that promise enough times, even the loyal ones stop coming back. What's dying in Vegas isn't the tourism, it's the belief that you can still have fun without being punished for it. Beneath the glowing skyline and billion-dollar facades, there's another story playing out, one that doesn't make it into the glossy tourism ads. It's the story of the people who built this city's rhythm. The dealers, the bellhops, the bartenders, the cleaners, the performers. They were once the heartbeat of Las Vegas, the invisible magic that made every visitor feel like royalty. Today, many of them are gone. MGM and Caesars, in a scramble to protect profits after years of corporate debt and overexpansion, began quietly trimming their workforce. First came the middle managers, then the concierge desks, then the dealers replaced by electronic tables. Automation became the new show, and service became an optional luxury. For visitors, this transformation is subtle: a missing smile, a slower check-in, a silent lobby where laughter used to echo. But for locals, it's devastating. Families that depended on casino jobs now face layoffs, reduced hours, or relocation. Apartment rents keep climbing while wages stagnate. And in a cruel twist, the very workers who helped build the entertainment capital of the world can no longer afford to live in it. You can see it in the faces along Fremont Street, in the food bank lines that grow longer every month, in the once proud croupiers now taking gig jobs outside the Strip. Vegas was always a gamble, but now the odds are rigged against its own people. The irony is almost poetic. Corporate leaders talk about efficiency, cost optimization, and digital innovation as if those buzzwords justify the hollowing of an entire culture. But you can't automate hospitality. You can't program warmth. You can't replace the feeling of walking into a casino where a human voice greets you with genuine excitement. When Vegas traded people for profit, it didn't just lose jobs, it lost its soul. And that soul isn't coming back with an app or a self-check-in kiosk. The more the Strip leans into technology and greed, the more human connection fades, and that's what made this city matter in the first place. If you believe the billboards, Las Vegas has never been stronger. Every few blocks, you see the same promise in neon letters: Vegas is back. Influencers live stream crowded casinos, convention centers post inflated attendance numbers, and hotel chains flood social media with images of full pools and champagne brunches. But walk the Strip at 10 a.m. on a weekday, and the illusion fades fast. You'll find empty tables, shuttered stores, and rideshare drivers waiting half an hour for a single passenger. It's a city trying to convince itself that everything's fine, even as the foundation quietly cracks beneath the surface. Behind that glossy optimism lies a financial machine running on borrowed time. After Caesars' historic debt restructuring, MGM began its own wave of operational efficiency, a phrase Wall Street loves but locals fear. The layoffs, the closures, the shrinking amenities, they're not random. They're symptoms of a system addicted to quarterly profits, designed to please shareholders before serving guests. That's why Vegas feels off. It's not empty because people hate it, it's empty because it's been hollowed out from within. The Strip is still glowing, but much of that light is coming from LED screens, not human energy. The city's marketing now targets a wealthier demographic: luxury gamblers, international conventions, high-limit tourists. But that strategy comes with a hidden cost. When you build an economy on exclusivity, you abandon the middle class that made you thrive. The spontaneous visitors from California, the newlyweds on a budget, the families chasing memories, they've been replaced by short-term spenders who leave no loyalty behind. Vegas isn't dying because of a lack of money. It's dying because of a lack of meaning. When a city once known for generosity starts treating joy as a premium product, no amount of neon can mask the emptiness underneath. Every collapse starts with denial. In Vegas, that denial came dressed in sequins and profits. Caesars' debt crisis was supposed to be a warning. Billions lost, thousands laid off, And yet the other casino giants chose to double down instead of change course. MGM expanded faster, added more fees, and raised prices to offset market shifts. It worked for a while, but when the illusion broke, it broke everywhere. Hotel occupancy began to dip. Visitors from Canada and the Midwest, once the Strip's lifeblood, started choosing cheaper destinations. Even loyal high rollers quietly moved their money to tribal casinos in Arizona or luxury resorts in Mexico, where transparency still meant something. The fallout is now visible across the ecosystem. Taxi drivers take fewer rides. Restaurant staff work shorter hours. Gift shops close early. What used to be a 24-hour city feels like it's running on half power. Vegas's economy was built like a house of mirrors, each reflection feeding off another. But when one wall shatters, everything behind it becomes visible. Caesar's over-leveraging led to MGM's austerity. MGM's cost-cutting reduced service quality. Falling service quality hurt visitor satisfaction. Declining satisfaction reduced revenue. And now the cycle loops endlessly, devouring itself. That's the real domino effect of greed. It's not dramatic like a stock market crash. It's slow, methodical, almost invisible. It's the sound of fewer suitcases rolling through lobbies, of silent slot machines, of dealers replaced by screens. It's the slow erosion of excitement, the gradual dimming of the very thing that made Vegas unique. The city that once promised possibility now sells predictability, and in doing so, it lost its edge. This isn't just a local story, it's a warning. Because what's happening on the Strip is a smaller version of what's happening across America. Corporations chasing short-term profit at the cost of long-term trust. Vegas is just the loudest symptom of a much quieter disease. From a distance, Las Vegas still looks invincible. The skyline glitters, the billboards scream, the fountains dance. But step closer and you'll notice the cracks in the illusion. Half the lights flicker. Escalators stay broken for weeks. Entire wings of hotels close temporarily for maintenance. The illusion holds only because the city can't afford to let it collapse. Vegas is performing its own magic trick, keeping the facade alive while the substance quietly disappears behind it. The Strip still shines because the corporations behind it can't risk letting the world see how fragile it's become. Social media helps sell that illusion. Influencers film their weekend trips, showing packed nightclubs and pools filled with champagne bottles. But those clips hide the weekday emptiness, the shuttered restaurants, the silent casino floors. Every photo is a frame cut out of context. Every video a mirage built for clicks. Meanwhile, the reality underneath is a city running on nostalgia, not momentum. The days of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas are over, because now everything that happens here ends up online. The mystery is gone, replaced by constant exposure. You can't sell fantasy when everyone already knows the trick. And the more Vegas clings to the illusion of endless success, the more disconnected it becomes from the truth. The middle-class families who once made this city thrive have been priced out. The service workers who gave it warmth are gone. The gamblers who made it pulse now play online from home. What's left is an echo chamber of corporate optimism, drowning out the sound of its own emptiness. The irony is that Vegas was built on illusion, but it worked because people believed in it. Now, even the illusion feels fake. When the show ends and the screens go dark, the city that once defined American escape stands exposed. Profitable, polished, but profoundly hollow. Las Vegas isn't dying in the way cities usually die. There's no collapse, no dramatic blackout, no sudden silence. Instead, it's fading in plain sight. One overpriced drink, one empty table, one unpaid worker at a time. The tragedy isn't just economic. It's existential. This city was never about luck. It was about possibility. The idea that anyone, even for a weekend, could feel bigger than life. That illusion, more than the cards or the slots, was the product. And now, that product has turned against the people who bought it. What makes the downfall of Vegas so haunting is that it's self-inflicted. The corporations thought they could keep squeezing the magic indefinitely, trading experience for efficiency, charm for automation, loyalty for quarterly gains. But the equation doesn't balance anymore. You can't charge people for wonder. You can't put a price tag on escape. Every new fee, every cost-cutting measure, every operational efficiency announcement was another chip off the soul of the city. They thought they were saving Vegas. In reality, they were selling it piece by piece. Yet despite everything, the layoffs, the empty casinos, the resentment, Vegas still has a pulse. You can feel it in the street performers at midnight, in the buskers on Fremont Street, in the small family-owned motels off the Strip, still greeting guests with real smiles. The city isn't gone. It's wounded, bleeding, but still breathing. The question is what happens next. Will Vegas rediscover its magic by remembering what made it special? Or will it double down on greed until even the lights can't hide the decay? Because in the end, this was always the bet Vegas made, that people would keep coming no matter how bad the odds. For decades, the house always won. But now, for the first time, the house might have bet against itself. And if the city doesn't change course soon, the most shocking truth behind the empty strip won't be that Vegas was too expensive to visit, it'll be that it finally became too expensive to save.